Dumelang, my name is Mahlatsi Jujuju and I teach life orientation. So for today, we're going to be learning how to answer life orientation questions again. And then this is a grade 10 to 12 lesson, but if you're in grade 8 and grade 9 and you want to join the party, you are welcome. So we have a method of answering life orientation questions. So after giving you the method, or I will also give you some few examples of how your answer should look like. So don't get confused when you see me see me with some questions and answers and this and this and this, and then you're just wondering, I'm just giving you examples on how they look like or how they should look like when you're answering. So the method of answering life orientation questions, we're talking about this method: fact, extension, qualifier, outcome, or solution. Okay, let me repeat myself. So when you are answering any life orientation question, please do make sure your answer has an effect, has an extension, has a qualifier or motivation or support, and also it has an outcome or solution. I hope we understand each other. And then from now on, okay, let me show you the marking allocations before I show you the examples. So sometimes they give you a 2x4 marking allocation, or 2x2, or 2x3, or 2x1. Obviously we know that if it's a 2x4, we know that they need 2 reasons and each reason will carry 4 marks. They need 2 reasons. If it's a 2x2, it's a 2 reasons and each reason will carry what? 2 marks. If a 2x3, 2 reasons and each reason will carry what? 3 marks. So we understood each other. So let's say let's look at how your fact or your statement or your extension or your qualifier or your outcome should look like in a sentence. So here's a 2x4 question whereby Barry, please advise a matriculant on how to adapt to change. So here's how you're going to answer. Try to accept the changes that are taking place in your life. That is a fact. As you can see, that's where your tick will be at. And then number 2, resistance to change can create problems for you and others. That is another tick. That is your extension. You are extending your fact. Number 3, qualifier. Dealing with and accepting changes can be a positive experience. That is your qualifier. And lastly, we want your outcome. Sharing your feelings with someone you can trust can help you deal with change. That is your outcome or your solution. By the way, it's a 2x4 question. It means 2 points. Each point will carry 4 marks. Here's another point. Nothing ever stays the same. That is your fact. Changes can happen which are not always pleasant, but this is a part of life, which is your extension. I expect to see this in your answers. And then where's your qualifier? Your qualifier is we cannot always avoid or control them. And lastly, your outcome. Learning to accept the things you cannot change can have a positive effect on your life. That is your that is your outcome. By the way, please don't get out of line when you answering this. Please make sure your qualifiers and your outcomes, they answer the question. So let's go to another example, because I put on as many examples as I could so that I can help other people. At the top is a 2x1 question whereby they just they'll be asking you, give 2 reasons why you should do this, or give 2 reasons why this and this and this and this. Obviously, she's just gonna put 1 reason and another reason. That is simple. I think most of us know how to answer that. But let's talk about the 2x2, of which you give 2 reasons and each reason will carry 2 points. And by the way, the method of answering will not always be the same. Why am I saying that? It will depend with the nature of the question being asked. Except in section C. In section C, it stays the same. The method stays the same. It doesn't change. So if you answer section C and you miss an extension, just know you missed a point. If you answer section C and you miss a motivation, just know in your answer, just know you missed a point again. But some of the questions whereby they're in section B or section A, of which they just be asking you explain 2 reasons, they don't have too much. Just know what our probably maybe an outcome is not needed depending on the nature of the question. Obvious. Sometimes what is not needed is an extension. Sometimes what is not needed is a motivation. But effect, extension, and solution, they're supposed to be there. I hope we do get each other. I hope I don't be, talking a lot of things. By the way, on this line, I want to do a lesson on how to deal with pregnancy or what to expect when you are a teenager and you are pregnant. I think it's going to be the next video after I finish with this lesson. And I feel like but anyways so sometimes it depends. Again, it depends on the nature of the question. I can explain to advice. So sometimes the question explain 2 ways that will help you focus in school. Obvious, I need to understand. The relevant points. Only relevant points. Ga 2x4 and that's how you're going to rata. Again, you rata on those 4 answering methods only. Again, so you need to be in control. List programs that have a positive and a negative outcome. Again, you need to avoid the negative ones. Avoid negative ones, and it's an outcome. The green light is the motivation, and the orange one is the what? The fact. Your fact. Again. So you need to separate fact from fiction. That is a fact. Educate yourself is the dangers in life. That is your what? Your motivation, and you need to make the right choices. That is a what? That is a solution. Obviously, but explain 2 ways that will help you. Obvious. So let's look at those ones whereby solution. Let's see, they ask you a 2x3 question. But discuss how work can give you the value of life. By the way, if you don't want to be out here confusing yourself and all that, just answer all of the questions. It doesn't matter it's a 2x2 or a 2x1 or a 2x3 question. Just make sure you answer them using the same method. Just make sure that in your answer, it's a fact, extension, motivation, and solution. I feel like we're going to be safe in that way. If it depends on the question, we're not just put everything. Put every method. Put all the method. Put method 1, 2, 3, and 4 in your answer. And obviously, when I mark, I'm just going to be marking the right one and leave out the other one. I think that is easier that way. So let's say they ask you how work can give you the value of life. So number 1, you're going to be answering with the fact. I feel like fact is always included. Should always be included in your answer. So the fact is that the value of work is not just for the paycheck. That's a fact. It gives meaning and purpose, and it can fulfill lives. That is an extension. So we find value in work if we have possessions and love for the work we do. That is also what that is you are supporting. You are supporting. That is a motivation. And lastly, when you have a meaning in your work, your life is instantly fulfilled. That is a what? Effect as you work and grow and develop, which is when you come to find the meaning to life. Consider following a career guideline on which career to follow. If you are confused, or I am trying to show you how to answer life orientation questions. And I did show you the method of answering, and the method of answering is You should include effect, an extension, motivation, and solution when you are answering life orientation questions. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I've been showing you how marks are allocated. Number three, everything that you see here are the examples of how your answers should look like. Okay, so take your time to look at this video and keep on practicing, and keep on practicing using this method of answering, and try answering accordingly. Your marks will be boosted, everything will be boosted. Please use this method when you're answering your classworks, your homeworks, if they do give you your assignments and your exams. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.